Hello everybody and welcome to Front Row Racing for this Sunday night's session. We are on ProjectCARS for Season 5, Round 5 from the Oulton Park Fosters circuit. And because a certain person almost forgot their girlfriend's birthday today, we've got somebody else joining us in the commentary box. I'm Front Row Racing DP. I'll be doing the camera work today, so you can blame all the dodgy cameras on me. But joining me in the commentary box is Temp Fear. He's joined us for the World Series on F1 commentary on a few occasions. He's taken part in a few races in these DTMs. But now he's going to try his hand in the commentary box and hopefully have a few decent insights for us. So Temp, looking forward to this one?
Yeah, but you say insights and that doesn't fill me with any confidence. But yeah, you've got to be doing overtime at the moment. So. I
know, I'll have to pay you double. Double or nothing is nothing. But I believe you're going to take us through the current drivers' standings. So if you would like to do that for us, that'd be absolutely fantastic.
All right, so I'll do the last results after the standings since both drivers coming in and out. So current standings, we have Michelin Man currently leading the way on 142. He's been the man of the moment so far in this league. Casey 21 points behind on 121, so hopefully we'll be hoping to gain a few points on him this tonight. David Harp's in third, kind of up by himself on 95. GBM Oldman in fourth, 70 points. Helston Dan in fifth with 56 points. I remember he used to be the one to beat on this game. GT Gavin 2 in sixth on 42 points, but he won't be racing tonight. GPM Vectra also on 42 points. Dan Evs, or Slap the Donkey as his count is on this, is on 41 points. He had a good result last week. Dextrum on 39. Kulukutu on 30. Jason on 26. Dot on 24, and I don't believe he's in here at the moment. Woolhouse also on 24. Myself on 20 on the few occasions I have raced, but yeah, I wouldn't talk too much about my results. Adam 4619 and Overdyking has had 13 points from when he has done one or two races as well, and that's all the standings.
Okay, fantastic. Now we are giving people, a couple of drivers, a little bit of extra time to get themselves into the lobby, and if they don't join fairly soon, then Casey is going to be sending invites to the reserve drivers. So I'll have a quick look at the order. So we've got a couple of spaces. So in a few moments' time, Casey will be sending invites out to the reserve drivers. Looking at the car, as we know, it's the Mercedes-Benz C Coupe DTM. It is a phenomenal car. DRS available on it. Plenty of grip, plenty of power. Top speed up and around 190 mile an hour, although I don't think we're going to be seeing that today because the Oulton Park circuit, the Fosters version, is quite short. There's only a couple of corners really, about 5, and lap times we're looking at about 50 seconds. The format for today, quite simple. We've got a bit of a practice, a little bit of a warm-up for them so they can get their setups done. And then we've got an 8-lap sprint race with a random grid order, which means that me and Temp are going to have to try and retire as quickly as we can without getting rear-ended, which may happen. We'll see how Temp gets on with that one.
Sorry about that. You're behind me.
Yep. I must admit, I love it how it's a random grid, but yeah, not really not random. But anyway, so we've got an 8-lap sprint race, and then after that, the drivers who finish first, second and third, they're not going to be allowed to qualify for the feature race, because once the sprint race is done, we're going to have a qualifying session of 10 minutes, a warm-up session of 5 minutes, and then a 32-lap feature race around the same circuit. More points available in the feature race for the drivers, and as I said, first, second and third from the sprint race don't get to qualify. They have to start from the back of the grid, which created an interesting scenario last Sunday when Michelin Man had the opportunity to take third place in the sprint race, decided to give up a place, took fourth place, and was able to qualify and ran away with the win. A few drivers may try doing that one again this week. We'll have to wait and see. Now, I'll tell you what, Tim, we asked the podium sitters last week about what they thought of it, and they didn't see a problem with it. You finished a little further down the order. I mean, what were your thoughts on it? Cheeky move, but fair? Shouldn't be done? What do you reckon?
Well, there's no rule saying he can't do it, so in that respect it's fair. I mean, he has got the lead, so if he feels like he can play it safe in a in the sprint race to try and get pole for the feature race, then yeah, sure. But he does also come into the risk of not getting pole. But
that is very.
It's up to him. He's, he's driving the car. It's his standings. It's just him. So.
Yeah, it's up to him to do what he does with the steering wheel. Okay, so the drivers are on their way to the circuit. We do have a full lobby now. We've got 2 or 3 reserve drivers in, actually. We've got Dre, Fast Man, and a Gingerbread Man. We'll see if he crumbles or whether he holds it together. But yeah, we have got a few new drivers on the grid for this event, so obviously we're going to have to keep a little bit of an eye on them. Michelin Man, though, he's the guy to beat. As you mentioned, Tempfear, he's won plenty of races. He won the feature race last week. He's leading the standings, but I tell you what, I have heard that let's see if I can find him. The Gingerbread Man is a friend of Michelin Man. They race together, and apparently Gingerbread Man is just as quick as Michelin Man, which could make things very, very interesting indeed. Now, if anybody's watching and has any questions they want to put to us here in the commentary box, feel free to do so. Just put at FRR and ask you a question, and if we can answer it, we will do. I will admit, though, I haven't got a question of the day prepared for today. So, Temp, you know what? If you want to spend a little bit of time thinking about a question of the day, you'd be more than welcome to see what you can stitch me up with.
You stitch myself for me.
Yeah. I proper kind of dropped that one on you. Now, when Gingerbread Man gets round to the start-finish, which he's just about doing now, I'll take us through a lap of the circuit. So we're heading now towards the Old Hall corner. It's quite a quick corner. You've got to be careful of how far you run wide. You can get away with it a little bit. Now we're going down the avenue towards Denton's and Cascades, and then we're going to take a right-hander into Fosters. A tricky, narrow part of the circuit, and now a short little sprint to Clay Hill. This takes us to Druids Corner, I believe, which will be just over the brow of the hill, and Gingerbread Man perhaps being held up a little bit by GBM Vectra, but it is only a practice session. But yeah, through Druids Corner we go now, and then we're heading down the Warwick Straight underneath the bridge. And Gingerbread Man's backed out of it, giving himself a bit of space. I do want to see what sort of lap time he's potentially going to be capable of. So taking it easy down the Warwick Straight, through Lodge Corner now, into the Deer Leap, and then across the start finish. So here we go then. Let's see what kind of lap time Gingerbread Man is going to be able to do. Well, it's a 57-second lap already, but from what I've heard, we could be looking at 51s. It's a very, very short circuit. Temp, you said you'd had a little bit of a look at the track. I mean, now we're here at the circuit. Is it one that you remember? Is it one that you know?
Yeah, I do know this track. Like I said, I did think it was another one. I'm kind of glad it is and isn't. So I think that one we would have seen maybe a few more crashes than this one. But yeah, it's tight, so it's going to be interesting to see when they're going side by side. But like you say, Michelin Man's done a 51.5 with KC 51.9, so yeah, we're already in those 51s that you mentioned.
Yeah,
might have said it, something.
Definitely. Okay, so as we said, this is only a practice session. It is only a warm-up session, and it's a chance for the drivers to make sure that they've got their setup sorted. Well, who's got the fastest lap time at the moment? It is Michelin Man, which is of no major surprise. Let's see, K-Slate. Oh, talk about close between the lap times. Only 0.03 of a second between them.
Yeah.
Gingerbread
Man's only a 10th off that with Michelin Man's just improved, but Stap the Donkey, or Dan Evans as we know him, is only the same distance that K-Slate was off Michelin Man to Gingerbread Man.
Oh, he's on the curb! He's on the curb! Sorry, say again, Tim. I didn't quite catch that bit. I was too busy screaming at Dan being on the curbs.
Well, I'm on about the fact that we got Michelin Man and Gingerbread Man who's just now being Michelin Man.
And we've got an old man.
So yes, that's true. Actually, we do.
Well, Jason. I was going to say there's no man in Jason, but he is a man, so I can't. I mean, he flies planes, so I can't really not call him a man. I'm scared of heights personally. Kulukutu, he's out there as well. He's done a 54.464. I tell you what though, I mean, this circuit is very, very short. The first couple of rounds that we had in the Project Cars DTM League were on very short circuits, and they made for some fantastic racing. They really, really did. The slightly longer circuits that we used did create a slightly more spread out grid. I mean, I'm just wondering whether you think that this is going to be absolutely frantic, or whether you think it could be quite spread out again.
I think, well, the top few are going to be quite close, and might spread out towards the back. But like I say, I'll say this now. I'm sorry, whoever starts behind me. Yep.
Well, we're going to have to be very, very quick though, Temp, because in about 5 seconds' time is when we're going to have to try and get ready to retire. So here we go then. It's a random grid for the sprint race. It's only 8 laps. Where is set to reel. Me and Temp are probably sat on first and second row here, or first and second position. So as the lights come on,
I'm done.
I'm done. Let's hope that didn't cause too much carnage. So away they go then, heading down towards turn 1. And I'll tell you what, Dex, he was in the lead, but now it's Casely. He's taken the lead. He's been given a bit of a nudge by Gingerbread Man. And slightly behind, it's getting very, very frantic, is Casely and Gingerbread Man side by side. It's not worked. Gingerbread Man's got damage by the looks of it. And is that Kulukutu? Yes, it is in 3rd place. And then we've got Dave the Harp in 4th. Woolhouse in 5th. Michelin Man in 6th as Casely pulls out quite a gap up at the front. He's getting very frantic. Dave the Harp off towards the barrier. The track's not wide enough to go 4 wide, but they're trying. The car off again. That's Dave the Harp. And further behind, Dave's got a power boost penalty. He's in the middle of the road as Vectra goes off the track. He was unfortunate there. And now Vectra spinning back across the road again, I think. Absolutely frantic. No, it was Dre, sorry. My apologies. Dre got the same livery. Okay, let's try and get back up towards the front, because Kulukutu's coming under pressure from Slap the Donkey, which is Dan Evs, and I've not let Temp Fear say a word yet, so come on, Temp, what have you got for us?
I'm glad I'm not racing. That's all I'm saying. In case they'll be quite happy with this, put that bit of gap, so if you please. Where is Michelin Man in 4th?
He is in 4th.
Is he going to want to stay there?
He's not going to want to stay there. He's going to want to try and gain a position as soon as he physically can. Well, now the drivers are a little bit more in the fashion of a train. It'll give them perhaps a bit more opportunity to get their relevant lap times in.
You say that as Woolhouse just goes flying off the track. He was in 3rd, now down to 6th with, Slap the Donkey, Kulukutu and Michelin Man benefiting from that. But like I say, Slap the Donkey, or Dan Evs as we know him, and we've said it a few times, right behind Michelin Man, is actually over. I think Michelin Man is letting through there.
Yeah, quite possibly. Either that or Slap the Donkey's just absolutely on it at the moment. I tell you what, Dave the RP's on a charge. He's just gone so fast through the first corner. He nearly took out the fans, let alone the car ahead of him. That's Dex, who's in a battle with GBM Oldman. So the 2 oldest drivers in the league at the moment, Oldman and Dave the Harp. Dex, nice little sneaky move up the inside. Is that going to give Dave the Harp the opportunity around the outside? No, it's not, because the room. Is he going to take the board out? Yes, he is. And that could be another power boost penalty, but that I think maybe for GBM Oldman.
You may want to go look at Casely and Gingerbread Man, because he's closed that gap in. He's right behind him. He was 9 tenths quick on the last lap, sorry. So he's on it. And Gingerbread Man is the man on the move.
That he is. Now, as I mentioned, tyre wear is set to reel, which means that the drivers do not need to pit during this sprint race. However, in the feature race, it's not a mandatory pit stop, but we'll change the tyre wear, meaning that the drivers probably will have to stop. And as you're right, Tem, Gingerbread Man really has closed that gap in on Casely up at the front. I just want to let you know, though, Tem, towards the end of the race, as we're on the last lap, if you want to hit your L2 button so you can bring up the leaderboard, and you can perhaps take a screenshot of it, and right at the end of the race, if you jump out of spectate mode into the pits, you'll be able to have another view of the leaderboard there. So Gingerbread Man gaining on Casely. He's quick through turn 1. He's got a good exit as well. How's his run down the hill? Not good enough at the moment to take the position, but he is pressuring hard. I tell you what, these two are pulling a massive gap out to second and third, or third and fourth. Slap the Donkey, third place. Michelin Man, gap down to him in fourth. Kulu Kutu's under a lot of pressure, but I do want to keep an eye on this battle up at the front. K-Slay's fast.
I am on board with this.
Okay.
I am on board with that battle. You sound about the Kuku.
Okay, if anything kicks off, let me know. K-Slay's fastest laps of 51.448. Gingerbread Man's is a 51.1, and I've got a feeling if he was able to get ahead of K-Slay here, he may be able to open up a little bit of a gap, but he's only going to have 3 laps left to do it.
Oh, Dex ran, no, not Dex, sorry, Kuku ran wider, whatever corner that was. He allowed David Harper Morehouse through, and he's now got Dex all over the back of him.
That he has. Okay, I'm just going to have a look at this battle we're watching, because Dave Harp, he's coming under a lot of pressure from Kulukutu. Oh, Woolhouse up ahead. Big amount of smoke coming off his tyres. That should give Dave Harp a bit of hope. K-Slay still leading the race, and he's opened up a little bit of a gap. But I tell you what, Temp, we've got another interesting situation here. Michelin Man sitting in 4th place. He ain't going to be worried about that, is he? Because we all know what happens when you start, or when you finish the sprint race in 4th. You get to qualify.
Yeah. I have been watching him a little bit, and this, to me, doesn't seem to be pushing all. I mean, considering he did a 51 flat in that little practice, his only best lap's 52.4, so yeah, I think he's happy with 4th.
I think he'll be very happy with 4th place. Be Fast Man, he's right behind GBM Old Man, so we've got Fast Man behind an Old Man. We'll see who's faster by the end of this race, but we are only 2 laps away from the finish. Hesselden's race is over, he's in the pits. Don't know exactly what's happened there to him, unfortunately. Obviously something not particularly great. So K-Slay still leading the way on lap 6.
You had to think then.
I did. I'm trying to do reverse mathematics and it's not good. I'm bad enough doing mathematics in the right way round. I'm just wondering whether Gingerbread Man is struggling to get past, or whether he's just pacing himself, whether he's given himself an opportunity to on this now, the last lap, to go for it. No, he's off. He's made a mistake. That's the Gingerbread Man into the grass. Dirty tyres. Slap the Donkey's not going to be able to capitalise. Dave the Harp's got himself up to 5th place. That battle has spread out a bit. Woolhouse 6th, Dex 7th, Kulakutu 8th, and Jason 9th. Let's quickly get back on K-Slay, because before we know it, he will be at the start-finish line. So yeah, Hesselden has ended this race early, and it looks like it is going to be a victory for K-Slay. Heading up to the finish line now, and it will be 15 points for K-Slay. A fantastic result for him. Means he's not going to get to qualify though. Gingerbread Man 2nd, Slap the Donkey in 3rd. Michelin Man finishes in 4th place once again. Don't be surprised if we see him on pole position for the feature race. Dave the Harp, he's going to come home in 5th position, with Woolhouse in 6th. And then it's not too far to Kulukutu in 7th. Jason in 8th. B Fastman's got himself up to 9th, so he is faster than the Old Man. Dex is in 10th with a very damaged car. Old Man in 11th. And GBM Vectra in 12th place, quite a way behind. Dre in the garage, and Hesselden in the garage as well, so I'm not sure if Dre actually got to the end of that race there.
No, he did 6 out of 8 laps.
Oh dear. Well, frantic race that went very, very quickly there. So as the drivers make their way back to the pits, I'm going to have to jump out of this lobby to set up a new one, and I'll invite Temp Fear in, I'll invite K-Slay in, and then K-Slay can also send invites out to the drivers as we get ready for the qualifying session and feature race, which should be absolutely fantastic. Okay, so quick look at the final result there. Yeah, Dre and Hesselden Hesselden's race ended on lap 2, so something went drastically wrong for him there. Massively unfortunate for him. Okay, so as I now leave the lobby, Temp, what do you make of that race? Went a bit quick, didn't it?
Well, yeah, they all do. That's it. You've said that every time so far this season. Yeah, 8 laps. They don't last very long, especially in a sub 1 minute lap. But Case, they'd probably be annoyed that Michelin Man's finished 4th.
Quite possibly. But at the same time, he'll enjoy the fact that he's just had a fantastic battle with Gingerbread Man, and he was able to maximise it. He was able to take the victory. Okay, I'm just going to sort out some of the rest of these settings. That should be correct. Hopefully it is. So yeah, I mean, the sprint races, I mean, they're exactly what they say on the tin. It's a sprint race. It goes fast. They don't last long at all. It's a mad rush to get to the finish line, just like it's a mad rush for the broadcast team to get out of the way. And I must admit, I have seen I've heard and seen little bits about ProjectCARS 2, which looks like it could bring some very nice features for future events when that comes out. A very good sort of broadcast directors mode, and hopefully random grids that are a little more random. But I must admit, I always think that racing games should all have the opportunity for the lobby host to say, I want this person to start here, this person to start here, and this person to start here. But there we go. Okay, so as Case Lane and Temp Fear join us in the lobby and start inviting drivers in, it's going to take us a couple of moments, but a fantastic debut drive there from the Gingerbread Man. Michelin Man playing it very sneakily. Dan Evs finished in 3rd for the 3rd race in a row, I think, because I think both races last week. No, sorry, in the sprint race he finished in 3rd in the sprint race last weekend, and in the feature race he had an unfortunate problem during the pit stops, which cost him the opportunity of a podium, I believe, which was massively disappointing for him. Now, at the end of the feature race, we will do a podium interview with 1st, 2nd and 3rd place drivers from the feature event. So it'll be interesting to see which drivers we're going to be talking to at the end, and if any of the viewers have got any questions that they would like us to put to the podium sitters at that time, you're more than welcome to put at FRR, and we will ask your questions to the drivers. The podium interviews have been quite interesting of late, with a few different theories and thoughts on the racing, the battling, the shortness of the tracks, the cars, absolutely everything, although the majority of last weekend's talk was about Michelin Man doing what he's done today, finishing the race, the sprint race in 4th, and being able to qualify. Hopefully Man is aware that he will not be allowed to qualify. It is a feature that was brought in for these events to spice things up a little bit. I must admit, when I heard about it, I wasn't too sure, but you know what, it has created some interesting racing. There always was the possibility that someone may avoid a podium in the sprint race to maximise the feature race.
Yeah, it's always going to happen.
Yeah.
It's like GP2 in like Formula 1 GP2. You get 8th in the sprint race, you get pole for the feature race.
Yep.
Or vice versa, one or the other.
Yeah, and they also do points for leading racers, and or they used to, and I know in touring cars they used to do that as well. And one of the teams, they always, if they had a guy in 1st and a guy in 2nd, they would always switch them around, so both drivers could lead a couple of laps and get maximum points for leading laps and stuff like that, and or going for points for fastest laps. I mean, it's not something we do in the DTM league here. But I know in some categories that is done with some rulings, like for example you can't pit with a couple of laps to go to put new tyres on to try and get fastest lap then. Okay, it looks like we're missing somebody from the lobby at the moment, and yep, you're right, it is Vectra. As soon as he is in, we will send the drivers over to the circuit once again for... Oh, I've just realised something. Number of laps. No, I did the tyres. I just very nearly sent us to a feature race that would only be 8 laps long. Let me just check. 32 laps. So I'll make sure that I get that correct. Otherwise, I'll be getting an absolute earful. And Vectra has now joined. Temp, if you could just send me another invite just in case. And we'll send the drivers over to the circuit. As I said, they're going to have a 10-minute qualifying session, 5-minute warm-up, and then we're on to the feature race. And having seen how that particular race just went... I wouldn't be surprised if we do see Michelin Man take pole position in qualifying with Dave the Harp in second place. He has been very, very good in the feature race qualifying sessions, although Temp, I know you might disagree about a bit of his driving at Donington Park.
Who's this? Dave the Harp?
Yeah. Although he questioned yours. What were you doing parked in the middle of the road when you got a power boost penalty?
Was it Dave the Harp that hit me?
It was. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was Dave the Harp. Unfortunately, yeah, come round the corner, the final turns in Donington, and there you were after being nudged off the track, power boost penalty. Nowhere you could go because there was 3 cars coming at you. 2 of them managed to go around you, and Dave the Harp was unsighted, and to him there was just a slow car there, and to you, you suddenly found a fast forward gear in the car that sent you straight to the pit wall.
Yeah, I'm amazed I didn't collect anyone else.
So am I. I must admit, I did enjoy that crash, and not because it was you. Not because it was you. It was just the nature of the crash. It was one that I could just see it coming.
Well, yeah, you get a nice broadcast view, so yeah.
Yep.
For me, I was just like, please no one hit me.
Too late. Okay, looks like Woolhouse is going to be one of the first to start a qualifying lap then. Obviously, Michelin Man's going to be someone we're going to need to keep an eye on, but we'll see how Woolhouse gets on. He's very aggressive on his turning into the corners, and a bit of tyre smoke coming off the rear end of that car. I'll tell you what though, Tim, looking at the nature of this circuit, do you think the guys are going to be able to use the DRS a lot around here?
Not a lot, I would imagine, but I don't know. I swear when I'm using DRS, I barely use it anyway on these cars. Yeah, it's all bumpy though, so I don't think it'll be easy, like very easy to run the DRS open. So be interesting, but I don't feel like I can get into that much time anyway. In all honesty.
It depends on how it's used, but I mean, this circuit, the straights aren't straight, and as you said, it is bumpy on quite a lot of the circuit. These cars, Hessel dead into the barrier. That's a big, big hit. I'm wondering if that maybe is what happened in the feature race to him. Looks like Vectra's had a little bit of an off somewhere. Woolhouse has managed to post a time, but he did have a half spin on that lap as well. Hesselden on his way back out. Let's see how Kutu is getting on. Just wondering, Temp, if Michelin Man is out there on the circuit at the moment. He is.
On the final corner, I believe. You think he has just gone very wide though, I think. So I don't think this would be a perfect lap, but it is a 51.3. So yeah, I don't think that's perfect from you. I think he'll be one to improve that.
Oh, Jason's in second place, but he's just had a big spin after turn 1, and in the foreground somebody else has had a little bit of an off as well. I think that may have been Dave the Harp, quite possibly. There he is. We're right on board with him for a while. Let's see how he gets on. He's got Michelin Man behind him on the circuit, so I think it might have been Dave the Harp. But I mean, it's quite possible that this qualifying session is going to, well, it is going to be longer than the sprint race was in terms of length. So a bit more time for the drivers on the circuit potentially, and perhaps Oh, Dave, that's the gravel trap. You're not going to go very quick in there. But if you relieve yourself, it will dry up quick in there.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it's a Sunday night. Yeah, it's completely different to F1. I'm afraid.
I'm gonna have a word with James after this.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh dear.
I've got an eye on Be Fast Man now. Looks like he had quite an interesting race in the sprint, as one of the German flag delivered cars is coming out of the pits, and Fast Man sideways, tank slapper off onto the grass, avoids the wall though. Ambulance there ready if he had have hit it, but he didn't. And there's Jason coming around turn 1. Is he going to hit him? Oh, that was close. Jason did well to avoid Fast Man, but I tell you what, I think Fast Man just got clipped by the car that's behind Jason here, as Jason clears the circuit of one of the cones that somebody has dumped in the middle of the road.
Hesselden had briefly just gone second with 52.7, but David Harps quickly to that. It was a very wide for turn 1. I'm amazed they're still allowing that as part of the track, but they are. Yeah,
I mean, it's interesting what ProjectCARS deems as being part of the circuit. Yeah, I mean, you could probably drive off into the woods and still be on part of the track, but then at other circuits you could look at the edge of the circuit and get yourself a 15-second power boost penalty. But we'll see how the drivers get on here at Oulton Park, the Fosters circuit. I'm just looking at the end of Hesselden's latest lap. Currently on a 52.713. He's been pipped to third, but he's just taken it back. Dex had stole third place off him, but he's in fourth. Halfway through the qualifying session then, and let's see, GBM Oldman, he's currently sitting in sixth place. And I'm just wondering, Temp, on a circuit like this, I mean, for some of the drivers, it's a very, very busy track. Is this going to be a race that's going to be a very energetic one for the drivers? Are they going to be sweating buckets after this one? Or do you think it's actually going to be easier than it's perhaps looking?
No, I'd say it'd be a lot harder than what it is. So you don't know when the car's going to go with these bumps and whatnot. And, well, like I say, if you open the DRS at the wrong time or get a bit of suspension damage as well, it's really unpredictable. But Michelin Man is out on another lap. Don't know if he's improving or not as of yet, but he's going through the final corner, using not as much run-up as some others, and taking the tight line, and he does improve, but by thousands. So, I don't know. I think he still might be disappointed with that. David Hart's only a half a second behind him on that one.
Well, he might be disappointed, but I tell you what, Woolhouse, he's gone and put himself into third place. It's a 52.3, but it's third position. Something I was going to mention, we'll keep watching Woolhouse here as he goes on for another lap. Something we saw from the sprint race was that because this is quite a twisty, narrow circuit, once drivers start getting side by side, it's very easy for the tiniest bit of contact to result in a major crash. So for anyone looking at overtaking around here, they're going to have to try and do it sensibly, because if you get it wrong, chances are there's somebody behind you that's going to try and get it right.
Yeah, I mean, fortunately, it's not like there's a concrete wall 2 meters away from the track. There is a bit of runoff, so we might not, they might get away with not smashing their car like Hesselden has done with his new, really designed front nose of that car.
It's aerodynamically less efficient, is what I'm told.
Yeah. But yeah, some of the shapes to the cars are more interesting. Michelin Man is back out. Dave Harp's out, taking a very interesting line through that corner.
Oh, Hesselden took a very interesting line just then. He was going to pit, but he's gone on for another lap. See, Michelin Man, you were just talking about. Sorry to cut you off there. Go on.
No, I was just saying he's come out again. I think he's just started another lap. Like I say, Dave Hart was taking a very interesting line last on board with him. It's one of the lines I'd probably take.
I'd probably go for the shortest possible route. Watching Michelin Man here, as we've just got about 2 minutes left of the session, and I'm fairly sure I've just seen a car slightly off the circuit, but Michelin Man looking very smooth, calm and collected at the moment. Don't worry, Casey, I am trying to commentate his cursive a little bit for you, but it's not working. Is he immune to it? But yeah, I mean, whereas some of the drivers are perhaps looking like they're pushing the car perhaps a little bit too hard, Michelin Man looks like he's just positioning the car where he needs to without taking any risks. And let's see if this has been quicker, slower to go faster maybe. He hasn't improved on his time, but with a minute and a half he can still get another lap in.
Yeah, someone that is pushing, from what I can see, is Woolhouse in third. So it's obviously working for him. We come around every corner though. He's got tyre smoke going and everything. Rear end's kicking out. But it's working for him, so good on him. I couldn't do it.
Well, I've seen over the course of the last few seasons with Woolhouse, I've seen some questionable stuff. Oh, he's unlucky. That's twice he's just spun there. That's unfortunate for him. But yeah, I've seen some questionable driving, but I've also seen big improvements in his driving. One thing I will say is he is aggressive on his tyres. He does push it hard everywhere. So having a quick look at Dex cross the line. 52.6. Don't think he's going to have enough time to set another lap. Quite a few drivers sitting in the pits, but Kulukutu, he's out there, and I tell you what, he's pushing this hard as well. Round the corner where, or near where Woolhouse spun it. It's very easy on these spectator views to get your corners muddled at this short track. So let's see, this is where Woolhouse spun it, I believe. I could be wrong, but anyway, Kulukutu heading up to the finish line. Look, and he's slowed down. Has he ran out of fuel? He may have done, and I think that's David Harp that's just passed him. Has he improved on his lap time? No, he hasn't, and he hasn't got enough time to finish another lap. So that is going to be qualifying over, because I don't think Dex is going to make it to the finish line. No, he isn't. But we'll watch him to find out. Oh, how close was he? 2-3 seconds away. Close, but no cigar. So Michelin Man pole position, then David Harp second, Woolhouse in third. That's a great result for him. Hesselden fourth, Dex in fifth, Oldman sixth, Fastman seventh, Jason eighth, Kulukutu ninth, Vectra 10th, Dre 11th, Slap the Donkey, Gingerbread Man, and K Slay 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, my apologies. Obviously those are drivers that finished first, second and third in the sprint race, meaning they were not allowed to qualify, but they are allowed now to get out on track for the warm-up session, make any tweaks to set up, get the fuel on board, get the tyre strategy sorted out, the pit strategy sorted out, and get a feel for the car on heavier fuel. As K-Slay watches Kulukutu run wide, and K-Slay runs wide, and whoever's behind them backing out a little bit. Michelin Man it is, Gingerbread Man and Michelin Man right behind K-Slay here on the circuit. So, warm-up session temp. What do the drivers use it for?
Comfort break, drinks, and well, yeah, you get some that put the fuel in to see. Like case, the top three in the sprint race will probably most likely be out there just to get a feel again of having not done qualifying, so that'd be helpful for them. But yeah, I think like what I did last week, I just sat in the garage.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, some people do that, just sit there waiting patiently. I've got a feeling if K-Slay goes for doing a practice start during this warm-up session, he may end up finding that the car's on its roof, given the nature of the start-finish line here. Only 3.5 minutes until the feature race will be underway. It's going to be fast, it's going to be frantic, there's going to be crashes, there's going to be carnage, there's going to be potentially some drivers annoyed, there's going to be some very happy. But as for who's going to win, who's going to finish on the podium, I've no idea, but person in prime position is Michelin Man.
yeah, another thing, like I say, with all these races being such a short track, is lap cars. Even when you pit, you come out almost a lap down. So I'm going to imagine it gets very confusing. So I'm going to enjoy that.
Yeah, it does get very, very confusing, especially towards the end of the race. Okay, let's have a look. Dre has put himself, got a 5th place time at the moment. Obviously the time's not fully relevant during the warm-up session, as David Harp and Jason make their way out of the pits. Kulukutu's hit a barrier quite hard somewhere, and Fastman takes that 5th place I mentioned a few moments ago.
Michelin Man doesn't seem to have the pace of Gingerbread Man and Case, though, from what I'm seeing. I mean, he may be sandbagging, but looking at the quali time he did, as he puts in a better time, but I don't know. I wouldn't have put as much money on him as what I would have done at first thought.
Well, I mean, Gingerbread Man's looking quick. I'll tell you what, Tim, I'm being asked a question of the day here, a two-part one. So you know what, I'm gonna use it and I'm gonna give it you. I ain't got a clue what the answer is. So, question of the day from Brian Bagnall. How many pennies in a dozen? And it's a two-part question. And how many half pennies in a dozen?
So how many pennies in a dozen?
How many pennies in a dozen?
A dozen what?
Well, is it a baker's dozen? Well, I would have gone with, well, a dozen is 12, so if you've got a dozen pennies, you've got 12 pennies, and if you've got how many half pennies in a dozen, it should be 24. But I've got a feeling it's going to be a trick question. Well, you could cut them in half.
But then no one would accept them. Are you going to accept a half penny of someone?
No, I wouldn't.
Someone paid you for something, it's worth £10 in half pennies, would you accept it?
No. Would I try paying somebody that? Yes.
That doesn't surprise me.
Not at all. Okay, well, he says it's not a trick question, so obviously we're very, very wrong. We'll find out a little later from him what the answer might be. That's from Brian Bagnall on YouTube. We've got 20 seconds, though, until the warm-up session is over. And we're talking about warm-up. My radiator next to me in this commentary box is getting me rather warm. I mean, it's winter, I'm wearing shorts, and I'm really hot and sweaty. I don't know, it must be you, Temp Fear. You get near me and I end up all hot and sweaty.
What can I say? I do what James can't do. So
what's that? Hand over the microphone.
That's one of the things. Yeah, I remember certain dates as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like Valentine's Day and your girlfriend's birthday. Well done, James. I mean, I still can't believe he only got his girlfriend a card and a Kinder Bueno for Valentine's. But hopefully he's made up for it today. But here we go then for the Front Row Racing DTM on Project Cars Season 5, a Round 5 feature race. The lights are coming on. They're about to go green. And away the drivers go. We'll get on board with the leaders as quickly as we can. Temp, if you want to have a look at how... Oh, Dave the Harpy's jumped Michelin Man into the lead, but now he's ran wide. That's going to give Michelin Man the lead back again. Further down the order, though, it's a big crash. Slap the donkey. He's off the track. He's got power boost penalty, I believe, by the looks of how slow his car is going. Caseley's got himself up to 8th place. Hesselden's into the barrier. That was contact near GBM Oldman and Dex, I believe.
Yep, Caseley's got a fair bit of damage on the front of his car. I don't think it's causing him any steering issues, though, but yeah, there was... I think they tried to go 3 wide through turn 1, and whoever was on the exit... lost it, I think.
Quite possibly. Old Dave was unlucky. It looked like he got a great start to take the lead, but then Michelin Man a better line through turn 1. Fast Man coming under pressure from Dex, and he's got Caseley and the Gingerbread Man behind them. Depending on how they go through turn 1 could depend on how they exit turn 1. But they managed to hold position. Up at the front, I saw Michelin Man opening up a little bit of a gap. Is that still the same situation, Temp?
I'll quick look. Doesn't look like it, yeah. Hold him out. No more than a second. Yeah. Same gap back to Woolhouse. So Woolhouse is having a stormer of a race at the moment.
Oh, I would have a look at those in a moment, but this is getting very, very interesting with Fast Man and Dex. This is going to get tricky. 2 wide with cars behind. Dex goes wide. Is that going to compromise his exit? Yes, it is, as Caseley's having a look, but the circuit's about to get a bit trickier, a bit narrower into the cambered corners. Caseley makes the move, a little bit of contact and into the gravel, going where Dave the Hart went earlier. It's not worked for him, and Gingerbread Man has capitalised. Caseley's lost a number of positions. Okay, let's have a look up at the front there. Michelin Man, as we saw, leading the way. Dave the Harp, 2nd place. Woolhouse, 3rd place and does a drift for us. GBM Oldman in 4th. Fast Man 5th. Gingerbread Man 6th, Dex 7th, K-Slay 8th, Hesselden now in 9th at the back of this battle. 10th is Slap the Donkey, 11th Jason. Dre is in 12th with GBM Vectra, 13th, and Kulukutu into the pits, I'm guessing with damage again.
Yeah, I think Dex might be doing the same, just hit the Armco on the inside of that corner. I'm not quite sure how, maybe with the DRS open, but that's allowed Hesselden to go through, but he is trying to come back at him into the final corner.
GBM Oldman and Woolhouse, sorry, they're battling for 3rd place at the moment. Woolhouse coming under pressure from Oldman as they go side by side around turn 1, holding position for now. Gingerbread Man in 5th, he's being put under pressure from the Fast Man, who's got K-Slay breathing down his neck, and K-Slay's from Nottingham, so it's not a nice experience when he's breathing down your neck. He's going to hate me for that, I'm sorry. This is what happens when James isn't here. There's nobody to keep me under control.
Well, everyone hates you anyway. So.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. I just have to make sure I give him reason to. I mean, if you're going to hate me, at least have a valid reason for it. But anyway,
I've got a list. But yeah, we've got to Slap the Donkey behind. Oh no, it's someone's lap. Who's a lap down? Dex is already. No, not Dex.
Kulukutu. I think maybe a lap down if he's in a red and black car. It could be Kulukutu, yeah. I'm guessing he had unfortunate damage, but that is Slap the Donkey trying to get past him. Now, obviously, there is... they brought a rule in for the DTM racers that blue flags are non-existent, which is interesting. I'll tell you what, Gingerbread Man, he's managed to get ahead of Oldman. Oldman's had a problem somewhere. That's lost him a position. Fast Man still being pressured by K-Slay. So we've got 28 laps remaining, and Michelin Man still leading this race. And K-Slay trying to go for a move. It's not quite worked. Fast Man holds on to the position for now, but Gingerbread Man, he's not wasting any time at all. That's the way the cookie crumbles. He's on it. I wonder if it's the Gingerbread Man from Shrek, though. Come on, Tim. Do us an impression of the Gingerbread Man from Shrek.
That's something
I think Woolhouse had a bit of a problem there. He's lost the position. Gingerbread Man into 3rd place. That's a nice bit of driving from Gingerbread Man. Next target is Dave the Harp, who's already headed up the hill. Let's see what that gap is. Quite a gap from 2nd to 3rd place. But Gingerbread Man having to work his way from the back of the field to get into this battle. Oldman, I'm guessing he's got damage, because he's lost a couple more places and he's ran wide. That's K-Slay through now. Hesselden's now pressuring Fast Man slightly further behind.
We've got Dre and Vector in those German coloured cars in flying formation. I saw 3 laps ago they both ran wide at the same corner on the same lap, so I think they are in flying formation.
Okay, Hesselden's just managed to get Fast Man as Fast Man made a little bit of a mistake. And as you said, yeah, Vectra and Dre driving in formation in the beautifully liveried car. Dre struggling a little bit there by the looks of things. Jason in 11th place. And just to let everybody know, for the sprint race, I think it's only the top 10 that score points. I would have to confirm that. Tim just said, yeah, so it must be. But in the feature race, every driver that finishes, no matter how many laps down you are, every driver that finishes scores points. K-Slay's on the move again. He's working his way past Woolhouse, I believe it is. Yes, it is. So unfortunately, Woolhouse has gone from 3rd down to 5th, and the battle between himself and Oldman is about to resume fairly quickly. In the meantime, Gingerbread Man has opened up a healthy gap to K-Slay, who's now in 4th place. So K-Slay needs to try and reel that gap in.
Woolhouse just in the pits, but Slap the Donkey had a first lap incident. Is getting onto the back of Dex, Fast Man and Hesselden here. So soon may see a 3-4-way battle there.
Well, I'd say it's probably a little early for heading into the pits unless Woolhouse has got damage. But yeah, I'm 7 laps into the race. We'd probably expect the drivers to do a 1-stop here, depending on how aggressive the tyre wear really is for them. But you're right, Slap the Donkey is closing in on Dex and Fast Man. And Hesselden just ahead of these guys, and they're trying to hunt down GBM Oldman, who's sitting in 5th. Caseley's opened up that gap to him. Let's see, the car ahead of Gingerbread Man is one of the German liveried cars, so it's not Dave the Harp in 2nd place. Let's see, Michelin Man leading the way. It looks like he's on for another victory. I think Caseley's going to have to start using this tactic. Finish 4th place in the sprint race, even if that means finishing 6th or 7th or 8th, as both Michelin Man and Caseley try and not finish 3rd and put themselves further and further down the order.
Well, what gets you more points? 4th and 1st in sprint race and a feature race, or 1st and 4th the other way around? I'll have a look.
Yeah, it's worth having a look. I know that Michelin Man finishing 4th in the sprint race and 1st in the feature race took home 3 points less than Caseley did at the last race.
Yeah, you get 25 for the feature race for the win and 7 in the sprint race, so 32 points. Whereas if you get 1st in sprint race, it's 15, in case they did get 2nd in the feature race last week, so you got 35. So unless Caseley can get 1st and 2nd, then Michelin Man benefits from doing 4th and 1st.
Yeah, I'm just watching Fast Man and Dan Evs. Fast Man struggling with a bit of his racing line there. That puts Dan Evs off, and Dan Evs has got a power boost penalty from it. He hasn't lost a position from it yet, but Jason is now beginning to catch him up. And knowing Dan, he won't be overly pleased about that. And just to let him know, I don't have lots of his pictures on my wall. I don't have pictures of anybody on my walls. I'm not allowed to pin anything on them. But if I was allowed to, it'd be of beautiful women, not of Dan Evs. No offence.
Don't lie. Don't lie to me.
They'd all be of UTEB. They'd all be of UTEB.
Yeah, that's because I beat you last season.
Oh. Get me some Savlon. I'm burned.
Well, yeah, Caseley hoping he can beat Michelin Man this season, but I'd say, looking at those points, he needs to start trying to win both the sprint race and feature race.
Gingerbread Man has just managed to avoid one of the German livery drivers, who then had a big spin right in front of the camera. But Gingerbread Man is catching up to Dave the Harp fairly quickly. Dave heading into turn 1 now, and here comes the Gingerbread Man into turn 1. So it can only be about 4 seconds the gap between them, if that. Gingerbread Man can see him. Caseley may be able to see the Gingerbread Man in the distance.
The last lap between Dave and Gingerbread Man was actually pretty much identical, so... Yeah. But saying that, Dave was actually, he took almost a 2nd out of Michelin Man.
Oh, I'm wondering if perhaps Michelin Man's tyres are going as Dex heads into the pits. Jason's going to gain a position because of that. And Wallhouse, after his pit stop earlier on, he's running in 11th place at the moment. Maybe might be about to gain another position. But, I mean, for Wallhouse, he was running in 3rd place, which was absolutely fantastic. But perhaps his tyre wear just a little too aggressive for him. Oh, I'll tell you what we have got, though. Fast Man, Slap the Donkey, Kulukutu in between them, I believe. Kulukutu a lap down. Kulukutu a position behind them. Slap the Donkey giving Fast Man a little bit of a nudge here as they're going to go side by side. It's a tricky corner to do it. But Slap the Donkey goes for a late break, and so does Kulukutu. And he manages to make the move. Does he know he's ran wide? He may be a lap down, but he's allowed to fight it as Fast Man heads into the pits. Jason follows him. Sorry, go on.
I'm surprised he didn't use the pun there that you could have used. Slap the Donkey slaps Fast Man, but okay.
It'd have been too easy. It'd have been too easy.
Saying that though, Dave Hart made a mistake. The Gingerbread Man right behind him. I think he has.
Quite possibly. Another battle to keep an eye on is Hesselden is catching up to Fast Man. Sorry, not Fast Man, Old Man. I think we'll have to get some of these guys to change their PSN names to 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 and so on. But Dave Harp and Gingerbread Man much closer. But Dave, for the whole of this season, has suffered a lot with tyre wear. So as we are now, 13 laps into the race, not quite halfway. This will be about the point that Dave may begin to struggle on his tyres.
Yeah, what I've found is it's the left front on these cars is what will go first generally. So some guys may run the hard front left and soft on all the other 3 tyres, which you can do in these cars. You can run different tyre compounds for each tyre.
Yep, it's quite a good feature that you could run, as you said, a hard tyre on the front left and soft tyres on the front right. Oh, Dave the Harp, he's got traffic ahead of him in the way of Woolhouse, I believe. And you were right, Tim, when you were saying, like, you make a pit stop around here, you can easily find yourself a lap down. That's pretty much what's happened to Woolhouse here. But Dave the Harp, he's got to try and get past. Oh, German liveried car in the barrier. And Woolhouse smoking those tyres again. But yeah, Dave could do with getting past as quickly as possible. Big tank slapper on the curb. This is Gingerbread's opportunity. As there's more traffic, the other Dave's ran wide. Is he going to go for the pits? I think he may have thought about going for the pits. But you know what? Gingerbread Man, he is in the pits and might be a wise call, that one.
It'd be interesting to see if he tries to go to the end from there. Mate, you should do, but you never know.
Quite possible. Michelin Man, he's got a little bit of traffic in the way of Kulukutu. As I mentioned earlier on, blue flags are not in place in these races, which means that Kulukutu...
They're flashing the headlights at us no tomorrow.
I wonder how many people K-Slay's paid to hold up Michelin Man.
I'll agree.
Quite possibly. Michelin Man, when is he going to pit? I think the answer is right now. And not a bad decision that. Got a bit of traffic, get out of the way and get into the pits, change those tyres. Dave the Harp, he's going for the pits. Late decision. K-Slay...
You put straight in the pit wall then.
You were hoping. K-Slay's continued on. I want to have a look at where Gingerbread Man is, because obviously with Dave the Harp pitting, Gingerbread Man and Dave were very close before Gingerbread Man pitted, but Dave's had a lot of traffic. Gingerbread Man here is in a completely clear part of the track.
Dave's still stationary as well.
So Gingerbread Man heading...
now just started moving.
Okay, Gingerbread Man crossing the finish line now. And that was me saying now, not going meow. He's going to be close on the exit. Gingerbread Man has done it. The undercut has worked for him. So up to 4th place he goes. Michelin Man currently running in 3rd, but that's because drivers ahead of him have not stopped. Those drivers being GBM Oldman and K-Slay 1, who still hasn't pitted. And, well, we're at half distance. We're at past half distance. So is he going to pit this lap, or is he doing something a little bit different?
And I know I said he has to try and win both the sprint race and feature race. Is he planning on doing those stuff?
Well, he's allowed to do a no-stop. Will the tyres allow him to do a no-stop?
I don't know. He may have had a chat with our good friend Jason, who's pretty nice on his tyres.
I'm wondering if something's happened to Michelin Man, because you know what? Gingerbread Man is right behind him. Michelin Man is struggling, stuck behind Jason, and this is allowing the Gingerbread Man to catch up to him. So let's see what's going to happen here. Michelin Man's realised it. He's trying to get past Jason right now. He's done it. Jason not causing too many problems there, but it may have been too late for Michelin Man, because Gingerbread Man is right on his gearbox.
Oh, all I can hear in my head is man.
Well, man, K-Slay's gone for another lap.
Yeah, I think he may be trying to do a no-stop. I mean, Oldman's carrying on as well, so they plan something, spoke about something. I mean, it's better than just doing a normal one-stop and finishing behind Michelin now.
Yeah, I mean
he's got a fair lead over Oldman as well.
I'm just wondering whether it's perhaps if it is not a non-stop, whether it's going to be a soft tyre run, like with, say, 10 laps to go. Whether it's going to work or not, I don't know. I'm keeping an eye on Michelin Man and Gingerbread Man here, but I'm just wondering, Temp, if you might be able to perhaps counter timing gap, or where's that? That Merc! It's got a German livery on it, but it's found a barrier. those cars have taken some punishment today, and I think Michelin Man may have needed Kleenex Man after that one. But this has got, you're right, there's too many mans. Ginger's coming, he's attacking him, he's close enough to attack. Is he going to look up the inside? No, he isn't. He's going to wait. Has K-Slay pitted at all? No, he hasn't, because these guys still sat in 3rd and 4th.
And mentioning about the soft rings on there, I don't think it would be worth it though. I don't think he'd gain the time back. I think doing no stop would be more beneficial. I will try and get a time gap, you know. Do you want between K-Slay and Michelin Man?
Yes, please, if you could.
That, are you on board with Michelin Man right now?
I am, yes. So that time gap, yeah. So that's Oldman. That's 2nd place sitter with 3rd place, 4th place, battling hard. Michelin Man knows he can't wait, but he's on the grass, looking up the inside. Has he got the corner just about? Gives Oldman a nudge. Off into the gravel, Oldman goes. And that is going to allow Gingerbread Man through, is it? Yes, it is. So even though Michelin Man has got past GBM Oldman, Gingerbread Man has taken the position and Michelin Man is still in 3rd.
K-Slay's eyes are a little.
Well, Gingerbread Man's going to try and open out this gap now. That may have frustrated Michelin Man a little bit. Oh, he's going off, Is he going to be a big one? No, he's recovered it just about. But here comes Oldman now. Is he going to get past? He's trying. Yes, he is. He's passed. So that's Michelin Man down to 4th place.
Gave him a little Kobayashi kiss there on the way past as well.
Yeah, Michelin Man trying to get past him again, but you know what? Dave the Harp is catching these guys. Dave is he's there, he's in the background. Now, GBM Oldman's fully within his rights to fight this position. It is 4th position. Is he going for the pits? Okay, Oldman's gone for the pits as well. So K-Slay exiting the pits now, but Michelin Man is ahead.
That time gap was about 24 seconds, but that was before Michelin Man had his moment, so that's more accurate to Gingerbread Man. But in that case, it's pitted, that's pointless, so thanks, K-Slay.
Yep. Well, Gingerbread Man now leading from Michelin Man, who has got Dave the Harp right behind him. K-Slay is only a few seconds behind, and I think he has gone for a softer compound tyre. That's why he's done a long stint and now a short stint, but he's going to have to make the absolute most of this now.
Well, he says only a few seconds behind. 5 seconds.
Well, 5 seconds, 11 laps, half a second a lap. It's doable.
Has Michelin Man got traffic? He does. No, I think Fastman's letting him through there.
Yep, Dave the Harp. It's nice to see Dave the Harp fighting this one out for the podium. We can see K-Slay in the background as Dave the Harp makes his move past Fastman. But yeah, K-Slay, he's on a charge. We'll have to see what sort of lap times these guys end up doing. Just going to have a quick look through the rest of the order. Hesselden in 5th. Oldman in 6th now after his pit stop. Slap the Donkey 7th. Dex in 8th. Not too much of a gap between those two. Fastman in 9th. Jason 10th, Woolhouse in 11th, Kulukutu in 12th, Dre in the pits in 13th, and we have lost somebody from the race, unfortunately. Don't know exactly who that was.
Vectra.
Oh dear, yeah.
Oh, Hess held up by Fastman.
Yeah, that's what I was just catching, but I called out the wrong name there. That's cost K-Slay a little bit of time, that has. That could be his opportunity over now.
I think it cost him about 2 to 3 seconds, but I did see him on the grass the corner before that as well.
Well, let's see, what was it? His lap time was a 54.2, 2 seconds slower than his fastest, so yeah, unfortunately not good for him in that situation.
Gingerbread Man's got a pretty comfortable lead there. So, riding nothing. It probably doesn't run out of fuel like I did once on Project Cars. It should be fine for the win, yeah.
You're not the only one.
Saw that race.
I don't think I did, but you're not the only one that's done it. Jason has also fallen foul of that one, unfortunately. Okay, let's have a quick look up at the front then. So it is Gingerbread Man, 8 laps to go, leading the way. Michelin Man a few seconds behind him, and Michelin Man has opened up the gap now to Dave the Harp. It's only by a second or two, but it is enough of a gap that it's going to be hard for Dave to fight it back. But Casely, I mean, I don't know if Casely is going to be... I don't know if he's got enough laps to catch up to Michelin Man, but he may have enough laps to catch up to Dave the Harp and perhaps take the final podium position.
Well, I know they...
Dave's in the barrier! I heard it! Yeah, he's hit the wall hard, just like Hesselden did in qualifying earlier. Casely has got third place now. Well, that's massively unfortunate for Dave the Harp. I didn't see the full crash, I just heard the sound and took a gamble and spotted that it was Dave the Harp, unfortunately, that's hit the wall hard. 7 laps.
I was going to say, I know they're in... Go on.
No, you're all right, go on.
I was going to say, I know they're in a party, Casely and Dave the Harp, with each other. I think they are anyway. So I don't know if Dave the Harp would have let Casely through, maybe, but Michelin Man might be a bit annoyed now to see Casely the car behind.
You know what? I don't think Dave would have let him through. Given the crash he's just had there and seeing what it did to Hesselden's car earlier, I don't think he had any choice. But Casely's got his fastest lap now down to a 51.850. I was wondering if he's going to be able to make this one a lot quicker, but I do think Michelin Man is too far ahead. Let's see what lap times are going to be. He hasn't improved on it. Michelin Man's fastest is a 51.5. I don't know when he did that. Well, his last was a 51.6. Casely's was a 52.0. But Gingerbread Man did a 51.4. He's got a little bit of traffic in the way of Fast Man. But let's see if we can navigate him quite nicely. And Fast Man making him work for it, making him have to go for the move. And that's one of the reasons why the blue flags were removed, to make the faster drivers really have to work for it. He should be quick enough now, heading over the start finish, giving Fast Man a little bit of a nudge, and across the line he goes with only 5 laps remaining now. The gap between himself and Michelin Man is not massive, but it is big enough that it's I think out of reach for Casely. Dave the Harp, he's continuing on in that 4th position as we've got a car in the pits. Hesselden in 5th with Dan Evs in 6th, trying to catch him up. Oldman in 7th. Quite a gap between himself and Jason in 8th now. And Dex in 9th, who's got Kulu Kutu ahead of him, but is a couple of laps down. Fast Man in 10th place, and there is Kulu Kutu with Dex behind him, and I think that's Hesselden in the background. So if I go and ride on board with Dex, if I can find him, there we go, 9th place. You can see Hesselden in the background, and Slap the Donkey, which is Dan Evs, as Kulukutu runs a little bit wide there, and that's Dex making his way through, but it's not a gain for position. And Hesselden trying to get past as well now, and he could do with getting past as quickly as possible, because any time lost is time that Slap the Donkey, who's just come into shot there, is going to gain on him.
Yeah, the car in the pits was Ballhouse. He took a very interesting entry, saying that even the barrier's a good old test. But yeah, I think that's his, I would say, a second pit stop, but I'm not too sure.
He has done a few. I tell you what, Dan Evs has caught up to Hesselden very quickly, with Hesselden being held up a little bit by traffic here. It's giving Dan Evs every opportunity to close that gap, and Hesselden still trying to work his way past Kulu Kutu there. Oh, and this is giving Dan the opportunity around the outside, wasted no time at all. Let's see if Dan's able to get past Kulu Kutu, as we're now down to only 3 laps remaining, and Hesselden trying to fight back straight away. I think he was frustrated by that situation. Oh, Kulu Kutu runs a little bit wide. That gives Dan the opportunity, gives Hesselden the chance to get past as well. So that's a fight for 5th and 6th. Well, I'm going to get back up to the leaders and see what the gap is. That's not Gingerbread Man, I don't believe. That's Michelin Man. Let's get on board with Gingerbread Man. There he is. So he's heading over the start-finish line to make it only 2 laps remaining. the gap has opened up to Michelin Man, who's got a car ahead of him, but I think that might be GBM Oldman, who is now a lap down. Caseley up to third place, and I think he may have closed that gap in a little bit to Michelin Man, but 2 laps remaining. I don't think he's got enough time, definitely not now, to gain on that position anymore.
No, I think our order is almost set as it is. There's no real battles anymore because Caseley's just gone deep. Not Caseley, sorry. Hesselman went deep behind Slap the Donkey, so yeah, I think it's a bit quiet now.
Yep, quite possibly. I think you could be right as Slap the Donkey, or we should change that to Slap the Danevs, so everybody knows that it is the same person, taking his car a little bit sideways around a couple of these corners. But if you can't have fun in the car, then what's the point of driving? Michelin Man, I don't know if he's going to be annoyed or not mind at all that Gingerbread Man is leading this race. So on to the final lap of the race then, and our order is Gingerbread Man, Michelin Man, Caseley, Dave the Harp, Slap the Donkey, Hesselden, GBM Oldman, Jason, Dex, Beat Fast Man, Kulukutu, Woolhouse, and Dre.
I think he will be annoyed because the whole point of him getting fourth in the sprint race is to win the feature race. So, I mean, it's still got Caseley just one position behind him. Yeah, he's let Caseley finish 3 ahead of him in the sprint race, so it's...
Well, something you might want to have a look at is how many points Michelin Man is going to score from this and how many points Caseley is. But Gingerbread Man, he's going to take 25 points here with a victory in the feature race at Oulton Park. Michelin Man crosses the line to take second place as somebody else finds the barrier quite hard. Caseley, he's going to cross the line in third position. And in fourth place, it isn't GBM Oldman, it is Dave the Harp, I believe. At least that's what it was showing a few moments ago. So after his massive crash, he's done well to be able to keep hold of this one in fourth. Across the line, he's going to go then to take that fourth position. And then we've got Slap the Donkey in fifth, with Hesselden right behind him. Although that's Dex right behind him. Hesselden right behind him in the sense of positions on this one. So Slap the Donkey crosses the line for fifth position. Hesselden looks like he's had a difficult final lap. Is he actually going to still finish in sixth? Yes, he is, thankfully, for him. Let's see, GBM Oldman, seventh place, crosses the line. I tell you what, though, I feel for Woolhouse from this race. I mean, Woolhouse was, he qualified third. He was running in third, and then as soon as he went for his pit stop, all of a sudden, unfortunately for him, he ended up much further down the order. Well, in a few moments' time, we'll invite the podium sitters into the commentary box for a little bit of a chat. It will be our first opportunity to speak to the Gingerbread Man, and also to see what Michelin Man and Caseley's thoughts were. And if anyone has any questions that you would like us to put to the drivers, feel free to put at FRR in the YouTube chat, and we'll put those questions to the drivers. But once Temp's finished doing his calculations there, I'm interested.
I've done the calculations. No, you haven't got me.
No, I'm giving you plenty of time, because the older you get, the harder it gets.
Well, you're twice as old as me, probably.
Not far off, actually. Closer than I'd like it to be. Temp, I am your father. Had to get a Star Wars put in there.
Yeah, that's James. You made him proud.
Oh yeah. Oh yes, indeed. But yeah, Temp, I mean, what do you make of that race? I mean, Gingerbread Man has come from the back. We've seen it a few times in feature races this season. He's come from the back to take the win.
I think Michelin Man's not going to be inviting him next week. Because, take Gingerbread Man out of the situation, and Michelin Man's gained points over Caseley, or not very many anyway. Caseley hasn't gained many, sorry, but yeah, Caseley's gained 4 points. If the the standings, they do stay the same standings.
Yep.
So, yeah, Caseley's gained 4 points, but it's not really enough.
No,
He needs to win in both, really.
Yeah, well, round 6 will be next Sunday, and round 7 and 8 still to come. So there's still 3 rounds, total of 6 races, 3 sprints and 3 features. But if you'd like to invite Gingerbread Man, Michelin Man, and Casely into the commentary box, and we'll have a quick chat with all of the men, and see
Casey's obviously doing something wrong, not having man on his name.
Well, he's gone for a number 1 instead. Why be the man when you can be the one?
He didn't finish there though, did he?
No, true. That is true. I'm trying to get as many film references in as I can. Neo being the one, Star Wars puns, Gingerbread, Shrek. See?
Yeah, that's the scary part, really.
Yeah. Just to let you know as well, Temp, with the question of the day that was asked earlier on from Brian Bagnall, apparently I was right with 12, but I was wrong with 24. So
the answer to the second one's got to be 0.
Quite possibly. We'll put it to the podium sitters, and we'll see what answers they come up with. I see Michelin Man has joined us, and we will come to you in a few moments for some questions. We'll wait for Gingerbread Man and Casely to also find their way to the commentary box for a little bit of a chat, and Casely has now joined us, so we'll just wait for the new driver, Gingerbread Man, and there we go, he has now joined us. Well done to our podium sitters, Gingerbread Man taking first place, Michelin Man taking second place, and Casely 1 taking third. I just want to say quickly to Gingerbread Man, if you could make sure that you've got your microphone set to allow to be shared in the chat party settings, otherwise none of the viewers are going to be able to hear you when we start asking you some questions. And once he has done it and we are asking him questions, viewers, if you can't hear him, feel free to comment and let us know. So Gingerbread Man, we're going to get straight onto it. Sprint race was a cracking battle between yourself and Casely. You managed to close the gap in on him quite nicely, but he had just enough to fend you off. But in the feature race, a fantastic drive from the back of the grid all the way to the front. So well done. Couple of questions. Was it fun? Was it exciting? Was it enjoyable beating Michelin Man?
I was pulling my hair out at some point. No, I was quite enjoying.
So
it's quite frustrating though.
Well, I mean, the sprint race, I can imagine it was frustrating. I mean, you were trying to hunt down Casely as best as you could. I mean, what was it? Was it, I don't know, lack of straight line speed, lack of cornering speed, Casely defending well? Because it looked like you were quick enough to close the gap, but just couldn't get past.
Well, there was a bit of contact on the first corner that swung me round. But it's really hard to overtake down there. The front left just gets killed. There's not really any chance to overtake. It's a tough track for overtaking that one. That
is true. In the feature race, you timed your pit stop quite nicely. It definitely worked in your favour. Talk us through the moments where you were able to attack Michelin Man, because it didn't look like it was just a straightforward battle for the position.
It goes back to frustration again. I bet he's really frustrated with the back markers, because that's kind of what got me back into that, I think. It was a good battle, but I think they held him up, which allowed me to take the opportunity.
Yep, it helped you. On this occasion, unfortunately, it has hurt him. My co-commentator, Temp Fear, you got any questions for Gingerbread Man?
I do. You seem to get through the start of the feature race quite cleanly, especially compared to Stat the Donkey or Dan Evs, who didn't get involved. But did you think you was going to win it starting from the back after getting on the podium in the sprint race, or was you quite confident to do it?
No, not with Michelin on pole. salvage your position on podium, mate. That's what you got to go for.
Well, I said before you joined, I think he won't be inviting you next week, so enjoy your one and only week.
Yeah. Well, don't go anywhere. We'll come back to you in a few moments because we have got another question for you. Very well done on your performance in the sprint race and the feature race. And we're going to move over to Michelin Man. If he's either taken his helmet off or if he's finished throwing it around the garage. Michelin Man, sprint race, it looked like you were pacing yourself. 4th place, very happy, job done. Was that the situation?
No.
Oh.
I got hit on the first corner, and then I think it was Woolhouse. I don't know, the fast double right-hander. He braked halfway down the corner, which caught me out, and I hit him in the back. And I just had damage. I didn't have no pace in that feature race at all.
That's a massive, massive shame. In the feature race, obviously you were able to qualify pole position. It looked like you were fairly comfortable out at the front. Got a gap to Dave the Harp. You may have been aware, obviously, of Gingerbread Man and Casey trying to work their way through the field. It looked like traffic was a bit of a problem for you. Especially when that annoying biscuit catches you up and passes you. So is it a case of frustration in this one, or is it a case of you still scored points in the feature race more than Casely?
No, it was a frustration race, that feature race. It weren't so much the back markers, it was the people staying out on tyres with 20 laps or 20. I don't know whether they was purposely trying to destroy my race or what. I don't know what was going on.
I think it was strategic because I think both GBM Oldman and Kay Slay went long on the first stints, and we think it was to go for soft tyres towards the end. We might find out more from Kay Slay in a moment, but you have reminded me that you caught up to GBM Oldman just at the point where it looked like his tyres were dying, but he was still fighting the position. I mean, you said it's frustrating, but does it come as costly, or is it perhaps just one of the features of this circuit where there are no straights, it is all corners, it's not an easy place to overtake?
It is a hard place to overtake, but when you're staying out for 23 laps on a set of tyres, you know what I mean. I don't know whether it was tactical or I don't know.
I wouldn't start going down the route of conspiracy theories yet. Okay, Temp, you got any questions for Michelin Man?
Dave did mention at the start of the race that I think Dave the Hot may have got a good launch on you. I didn't see that myself, so maybe you could speak to us about that. But then also, are you going to want to... I'm going to ask you about tyres. Are you mixing and matching your tyre compounds, or are you going to keep that a secret?
I'm going to keep it a secret now, yeah.
That'd be the answer.
He did have a good launch, Dave the Harp. He done me into the first corner again, and he went really wide, so I got past him like straight away again.
It did look like he got a really good start. Okay, Tim, you got any more questions for him? You can't let him off that easy. Come on.
Okay. So this is the result you wanted for, because obviously. But you finished 4th in the sprint race. You know, your odds-on favourite for the feature race to win it. So, are you disappointed at yourself? I know you said it's about not like the people staying out long, but you still disappointed yourself or people? I'm guessing you're disappointed as well since K-Slay's game.
Yeah, I'm disappointed with myself, but more with people, because even on that double right-hander when Gingerbread was right behind me, he tapped me back end, which damaged my diffuser, and I just couldn't get under the 52s once. I can do 51.5s round there. I couldn't even get under the 52s.
Gingerbread Man.
Have a race with them, do you know what I mean?
Who would have known that a gingerbread man would be a bully?
Yeah, I'll save the replay.
As the season gets towards the end, the feistiness comes out. Anyway, well done on 4th place in the sprint race and 2nd place in the feature race there, Michelin Man. Still leading the championship, so that's something to be happy about. We're going to quickly move on to 3rd place, Kay Slay. Kendall sitting there sort of nice and quietly. Sprint race, it was a fantastic battle between yourself and Gingerbread Man. So you can talk us a little bit about that. I mean, was it difficult keeping him behind you, and were you aware of where Michelin Man was positioned on the circuit?
Sprint race got a ridiculously good start. I was on the inside, turn 1. I was on the curb with it, which is why I understeered. I think it was into Gingerbread Man. But managed to get around, and then it was literally just defending for 8 laps. Didn't know where Michelin was, but yeah, surprised at that sprint race. Yeah, got first. I was not expected that.
Well, it was a good battle. It was an interesting one to watch. Okay, on to the feature race, and obviously tyres is something we will talk about in a moment. I'll save that question for you, Temp. I'll give you one. At the start of the sprint feature race, it looked like you had a good start. You were able to gain a few positions, and then it got very, very frantic. Sort of after turn 1, turn 2, I think you got yourself up to about 7th place, and then ended up in the gravel, or at least off the track a little bit, and went from about 7th down to about 9th. It looked like it was very, very difficult to work your way through the grid, because at that point that you lost those positions, it was Gingerbread Man that was able to gain multiple positions that gave him the opportunity towards the end.
Yeah, me and Gingerbread Man were getting through. I think I was ahead, and then we came up to someone last corner, and then yeah, I just tagged him a little bit, went in the gravel. So then yeah, I was on the back foot after that, and then he got through quick. I didn't get through for about 3 or 4 laps, and then I just couldn't get the gap back down.
Okay, my other question for you is, towards the end, after you'd done your pit stop, you're in 4th place. It looked like Michelin Man was going to be out of reach, Dave the Harp possibly within reach, and then all of a sudden, Dave the Harp's in the barrier. Were you close to seeing it, to being collected in it?
I just caught the back end of it. He had a bit of damage to his front, so his pace was off a bit. Yeah, just caught the back end of it. Managed to just avoid him as he was going back on track. Yeah.
Well, it was a good race anyway. I'm going to hand over to Temp here now for any questions that you've got for Casely.
You really teed up the one. So yeah, you stayed out a lot longer. You didn't do the normal one stop and pit at half distance. You pitted a good 4 or 5 laps later. But before that, Dave was mentioning you were going to potentially do a soft stint and try and cause it that way, but I thought you maybe... Dave,
is he revealing my tactics?
Hey, what? I wasn't listening. If you were talking about me, Dave, I don't know what you're on about. I'm innocent. If you're talking about Dave the Arp, yes, he did it. He's guilty.
Yeah, we've got too many Daves. I said you probably would have been better off staying out and maybe trying to no-stop. So was that on your mind, or was it always going to be to pit?
Initially, I was going to pit halfway, but I got halfway and my tyres were still alright. So I thought I'd carry on. Got to 21, 22 or something. And yeah, they just died. Lost about 2.5 seconds on 1 lap, so I took it in and just went back on the normal strategy.
Would you have not thought about running the softs or not?
No, because they burn out quite quick. Would do for me anyway, but to be honest, I thought Dave the Harp was out of reach. I wouldn't have had 3rd if he didn't swim. So,
I mean, yeah, we saw you come out of the pits, and we were thinking you were maybe going to start clawing time back on those front 3, but then I think you did get stuck behind the car, and you was on the grass and in the gravel. I can't remember who it was, but I did see that on there. I think Dave may have as well. So did that kind of put the nail in the coffin?
It did, yeah. I think I was about 4 seconds behind Dave. But then, after that, a few back markers, it went to about 6.5. And that, I only had about 8 laps to do it, so I didn't think I'd do it.
I've got a question for you. It's from someone called Michelin Man. He wants to know if there was a conspiracy theory with the pit stops.
Nothing from my end.
In that case, then, Michelin Man, you're going to have to send a message to the old man. We'll leave that one there for now. Tim, do you want to mention anything about the points to Michelin Man and Casely that we were working out towards the end of the race there?
Well, you say we were working out. You mean
All right,
me?
you were. I asked you to. That's why it was a we.
And yeah, you've done him this race result, like with the sprint race and feature race combined. So, I mean, Michelin Man, I believe, had a win the first round at Monza. He won both the sprint race and the feature race. So, I feel like you need to do that to sort of get any sort of inroads on him now, because I think you were 20 or 21 points behind before this race. He's still looking at about 16, 17 points. So you need to pull something out. You need to win a sprint race and a feature race, and well, if you've got to pay someone to wipe out Michelin Man, then you got to do it anyway.
Yeah, well, that massively, yeah. I can't seem to get the double. I think Michelin's done it twice now. I've not done it yet, so I think I need to do that and then pay someone on the side to take him out.
Well, one of the things that Temp was working out was, and this, Michelin Man, you can jump in on this one as well, is that in the feature race just then, had Gingerbread Man not finished first, he wasn't in the equation, and Michelin Man had finished first and you, Casely, had finished second, Michelin Man would have gained points on you. But because Gingerbread Man did finish first, the points switched the other way. So, Casely, as far as you're concerned...
This is where, Dave doesn't listen to what I say.
Yeah. Well,
no, Casely still would have gained, but he gets an extra point.
Oh, wow, okay. Well, in that case, then I'll ignore that question. Oh, other than to say, Michelin Man, if Gingerbread Man hadn't have been there, would it have been nicer to have had the extra point?
I'd rather race with faster people, you know what I mean? There's some people out, no disrespect to the other drivers, but there is some really slow drivers out there, but it seemed to us today. This one guy had nearly hit me like 3 times. I don't know what he was doing.
That's the one case I had a chat with him.
Yeah.
Listen to him laughing.
I think you're paying him, mate.
He was like a missile come bouncing off tyres and coming directly towards me.
Yeah.
Okay, last question, well, the last couple of questions to each of the drivers. The next round is at Monaco. Gingerbread Man, I won't include yourself, Gingerbread Man, in this question, unfortunately, but Michelin Man and Casely, what are your thoughts about taking these cars around Monaco?
It's a tricky track, isn't it, with how close it is with damage, like, so, I don't know, it's not a favourite track of mine, I'll be honest with you, I don't really do it that much.
Well, I'll tell you what, if there's ever a race you don't want to start at the back of the grid in a feature race, it's probably Monaco. So, Casely, what about yourself, the Monaco circuit, these cars next Sunday?
I like the track, but don't know what they'll be like around them. They're a bit chunky for Monaco, aren't they? So, might be a bit of single file around there.
Yeah.
Well, spare a fault for the commentators. They've got to try and get out your way first, otherwise they're going to be a roadblock at the start.
Oh, yeah. That is very, very true. Okay, this will be the final question to the podium sitters, and it's courtesy of Brian Bagnall on YouTube, who's given us a question of the day today, and it's a 2-part question. So, Gingerbread Man, you've probably not experienced this with us before, because you've not had a podium interview with us before, but we're going to fire a question, and you get the opportunity to have a guess at the answer. We'll come to you first, then Michelin Man, then Casely. So, as I said, it's a 2-part question. So, here we go then. How many pennies in a dozen, and how many half pennies in a dozen?
12 and 24.
Sorry, what was that? Was that 12 and 24?
Half pennies in a dozen, yeah?
Okay, so 12 and 24, Michelin Man.
Caught me off guard, yeah. Got that, Matt. 20 and 10, I'll say, 'cause I don't want to say the same answer,
To 20 and... Okay, I don't know what dozen you're working with, but okay, yeah, 20 and 10. K-Slay, would you like to show these guys how it's done?
It's 12 and 24, isn't it?
No, it's not. You disappoint me. Although I said exactly the same thing. I'll put you out of your misery. Brian did answer the question. He said the correct answer is 12 and 12.
Oh shit, it'd be that.
How many?
Maybe a stupid one.
Yeah. Well, if it had been one of our questions, it'd have probably been worse. But yeah, 12 and 12. And for anyone that's trying to get their head around that now, you can't have more than 12 in a dozen. So even if they're half pennies, you've still only got 12 of them. So there we go.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, 12 and 24 was closer than 20 and 10. Okay. and on that note, time to start bringing this to an end. So very well done to our podium sitters in this feature race here. Gingerbread Man on his reserve drive, Michelin Man in second place, and K-Slay 1 in third. Well done, guys. And well done to all of the drivers for taking part on what was a difficult, tricky, narrow circuit, but that's going to be absolutely nothing and compared to next Sunday, 8 p.m, for round 6 sprint race and feature race from the Monaco circuit. That is going to be interesting. Probably going to be absolutely frantic as well, and loads of carnage. We may even see somebody end up in the harbour. But anyway, come and join us for that next Sunday. Next up on the Front Row Racing YouTube channel will be on Wednesday, 7:25 p.m. for the Front Row Racing F1 World Championship Round 11 from Hungary. Come and join us for that. It could be epic. And then on Thursday, we've got the World Series on F1. That'll be 7:25 p.m. on Thursday. Again, that's round 11 at Hungary. Come and join us for that. That one's probably going to rain. Finally, just want to say thank you to Temfir for joining us in the commentary box. So thank you very much, Temfir.
Just send me my pay slip, because I've been working me hard now.
It's all right. James owes you that one, and we'd better just give one final message to James. James, congratulations for having a girlfriend, but also commiserations for nearly forgetting that it is her birthday and had to be reminded by the mother-in-law who arranged the birthday meal out. Hopefully you've done everything possible to make it a phenomenal day for her, and in about 9 months' time we will celebrate the birth of your new child. So well done on that.
I think it's James. It's James. He's done as little as possible. You know it.
Yeah, that's true. He's probably already asleep. And if he's listening to this, well, you should have been here. Anyway, that's about all from us here from Oulton Park. So thank you very much for watching. This has been the Front Row Racing ProjectCARS DTM's Season 5, Round 5. Join us next week.